Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, my name is Hudsimus Prime, and I am here today with a video not about video games, but something that is also very near and dear to my heart. I'm talking, of course, about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This video is going to be about where I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is heading directly after Thor Ragnarok. Some of these theories will be no-brainers, some will be a little head-scratching, and some are going to make you think I'm just downright nuts. In all fairness, spoiler alert for anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to and including Thor Ragnarok, as it was recently released and was one badass picture. So without further ado, let's get to it. Top MCU Future Predictions. Number 1. Peter Dinklage's Pip the Troll. It was announced earlier this year that Marvel was eyeballing Game of Thrones alum and all-around awesome human Peter Dinklage for a role in its ever-expanding universe.
Do you understand?
As of this video's posting, Marvel has yet to announce who Mr. Dinklage will be playing, though some strong candidates have been mentioned. Among them, we have MODOK, a giant mechanical combination of Humpty Dumpty and R2-D2, Eitri, the Dwarven King and Master Weaponsmith responsible for the creation of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and Mephisto, an interdimensional demon lord and Marvel's literal equivalent of Satan. Now, these are all among some of the more interesting choices for Dinklage talents. However, I foresee the Lackadaisian, I shit you not, that's the species name, Pip the Troll in the actor's future. A prince of the Lackadaisian Empire, Pip the Troll is a self-described ladies' man and traveling companion to Adam Warlock. Kind of reminds me of another well-off nobleman with a healthy lust of women and a love of travel. I'm looking at you, Tyrion Lannister. Yes, you little scamp. And if his Tyrion Lannister doesn't convince you, Peter D has recently been spotted sporting a new frock of red hair. Since Dinklage's drapes now match Pip's carpet, I'd say it's fairly even odds that we see Dinklage suit up as the goat-legged alien. Number 2. Avengers Infinity War will be based on Thanos' quest. While Infinity War is an actual comic event in Marvel's Infinity Saga, don't expect too many of the original story's elements to make the leap to the silver screen. Instead, look for much of the third Avengers plot to mirror Infinity Gauntlet's prequel title, Thanos' Quest. Thanos' Quest tells the story of how Thanos collects the Infinity Stones, one by one, from beings of immense power called the Elders of the Universe. A collection of characters who have survived eons perfecting a specific passion, the Elders currently have representation in the MCU, with Benicio del Toro's The Collector and Jeff Goldblum's The Grand Master. Thanos systematically acquires each Infinity Stone through a combination of intelligence, strength, and ruthlessness, before forming his infamous hand accessory. Expect a similar outcome here as Thanos proves how huge a threat he poses to our heroes. Watching the Mad Titan run through Asgard, the Collector, and the Nova Corps before turning toward Earth would provide a glorious introduction and build up to a character known largely for his love of comfort. Kevin Feige, Marvel's head honcho and all-knowing compass, has already gone on record claiming Thanos to be the main character in the Super Team's third act. And if that weren't enough of a hint, having the main plot thread of Infinity War focus on how Thanos wrestles the gems free from their current protectors makes way too much chronological sense. Number 3. The Red Skull returns. So yeah, as of the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, the Red Skull, Captain America's archenemy, is presumably dead, disintegrated into a beam of blue light, or so he would have you believe. I just think it's a tax dodge. This would be very likely, if not for two very important factors. One, the Red Skull has returned from death more often than Jean Grey and Wile E. Coyote combined. And 2, the Tesseract he was holding at the end of Cap's first movie was secretly the Space Infinity Gem, capable of teleporting its owner basically anywhere they damn well please. More likely than not, the Red Skull found himself teleported to the far side of space to plot, scheme, and be an overall space Nazi douchebag until he returns. What role he'll be taking when he returns is more debatable. Until recently, I myself thought the Red Skull was a strong candidate to take the place of Mephisto as Thanos' confidant. An existing Redskin villain might have been preferential to adding another character to a rapidly increasing roster. Upon recent reflection, however, I feel that Loki, who owes Thanos after losing the Mind Gem to the Avengers, is a much stronger candidate to replace Mephisto's sneaky and deceitful Satan allegory. I think somewhere in the chaos of Infinity War, Red Skull makes his way back to Earth and forms a variation of the Masters of Evil. Now, this is a collection of the Avengers' former villains, and usually is the biggest and baddest enemies they have on their roster. Regardless of what hobbies the Red Skull picks up when he returns to menace Earth's heroes, his return is a near certainty, no matter how much Hugo Weaving disapproves. Sorry, Hugo. Number 4. The Masters of Evil menace the Avengers. Now, as I started going into previously with my Red Skull prediction, I do believe we will see the Masters of Evil darken the doorway of the Avengers Tower or their mansion or whatever the hell they happen to be calling a base camp at the current time, sooner rather than later. If Red Skull is not in charge of whichever villains the Avengers decide not to murder, expect Baron Zemo from Captain America Civil War to lead the charge. Baron Zemo is more often than not the driving force in forming the Masters of Evil. The MCU's Zemo doesn't seem to have his comic counterpart's passion for pink, but is a proven schemer and does want the Avengers destroyed. He said so himself.
Who are you? What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
See? Add in Abomination, Batroc, and the Scourge from Thor Ragnarok, and we're well on our way to a classic Masters of Evil lineup. The only reason I'm less certain on this prediction is the villains of the Marvel Universe tend to end up, well, dead. Now, I do expect that to change moving forward as Marvel introduces the Tinkerer in Spider-Man Homecoming. As the Tinkerer equips more and more criminals with the equipment needed to compete in the superpowered arms race rapidly enveloping the universe, I fully expect a more fleshed out pantheon of imprisoned villains just itching to put the hurtin' on the Avengers. Expect the Masters of Evil to pop up shortly after the dust clears from Thanos. Number 5. Thor swings a new weapon. After seeing Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, shattered during the thunderous introduction of Hela in Thor Ragnarok, it looks like Thor is going to need to take a trip to Home Depot. With Thanos earthbound and down, Thor will need a replacement for one of the most powerful weapons in all the MCU. Concept art from the upcoming Infinity War shows Rocket and Thor fighting back-to-back in what is assured to be raw, unchained awesome. Close observation of the photo reveals Thor using a weapon with a distinctly different handle than Mjolnir. The internet has been a Twitter with predictions on the identity of the newest mighty mallet. For my money, I'd have to jump on the Jarnbjorn bandwagon. Jarnbjorn is an enchanted axe Thor has made use of in the comics when Mjolnir was unavailable to him or Thor was being a douchebag. The reason I believe Thor is channeling his inner lumberjack is due to the axe's specific enchantments. In addition to indestructibility, a severe problem in Mjolnir's design, the axe is capable of piercing armor designed by Marvel's very own space gods, the Celestials. During the 11th century, Thor ran across X-Men baddie Apocalypse. After getting his ass kicked, Thor decides to bless Jarnbjorn with his own blood. Gross. This enchantment enables it to slice through celestial armor. Since Marvel spent the better part of its Guardians of the Galaxy series placing the Celestials at the top of Marvel's cosmic food chain, don't be surprised to find Thanos using some of their impressive armor and tech. If this turns out to be true, having an axe that can make short work of godly armor would be a lovely silver lining to Mjolnir's destruction. Number 6. Doctor Strange will lead the new Avengers. It's no secret that the contracts of many of Marvel's big-name actors are heading to an expiration with the end of Phase 3. As a result, Earth's mightiest heroes are about to have some mighty big shoes to fill. Due to an uncertain future for the Avengers' Big Three, among others, fully expect the newest members of the MCU to lead the charge into the future, with Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange at the forefront. The story of a cocky, rich jerk, beyond gifted in their chosen profession, who experiences a life-scarring event which only leads him on a quest to heal himself and then becomes a superhero instead, worked wonderfully for Iron Man to start the original Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can only imagine Marvel was thinking that when they retooled the tale for Doctor Strange in 2016. Doctor Strange can easily support the new Avengers mystically the way Tony Stark's technology and money props up the Avengers now. Doctor Strange has even hosted the Avengers' base of operations in his Sanctum Sanctorum during his tenure on the team. Their similar willingness to bend and break the rules in pursuit of noble intentions can also stir the pot for our team of heroes. With Doctor Strange at the forefront, don't be surprised to see Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Bucky wearing the stars and stripes to head up the new Avengers into Marvel's foreseeable future. Number 7. Ultron escapes death on a USB. One of the oldest rules in comic books and serialized fiction goes as such. A character's not dead until you see a body. While comics often don't give a damn about the body rule and revive whomever they damn well please, cinema still maintains this rule for the most part. A reason I propose that James Spader's mechanical monstrosity Ultron may not be as dead as we all think. Granted, there were plenty of Ultron bodies left in the cleanup of Sokovia. However, we never see the body of what is described as Ultron's final body. We only see him banter with Vision before the camera blurs focus, and we only get a flash of energy from the Vision's Mind Stone. Plus, Vision also goes so far as to say he doesn't want to kill Ultron in the first 5 minutes of his life.
I don't want to kill Ultron.
Now, this all leads to a very suspicious end to a character known for body hopping. Despite being body locked at the time, I believe Ultron escaped death in one of two different ways. Since Vision wasn't a fan of killing Ultron in the first place, it's possible the yellow flash of death was an assimilation beam of sorts, perhaps absorbing Ultron into the Mind Stone with no technological bridge to break free. Equally likely, and far more interesting, the answer may lie in the Quinjet Ultron attempted to escape in during the Battle of Sokovia. Even though Vision knocked out his Wi-Fi, what if Ultron physically downloaded himself into the Quinjet's computer as a means to survive? Moments later, he is thrown from the ship by Hulk, who later rides the ship into uncertainty. We know Hulk somehow ends up on the alien planet Ragnarok in Thor Ragnarok. Who's to say the Hulk doesn't ride the Quinjet all the way to Ragnarok, crash, gets abducted and captured, and Ultron's personality is released after some goons are stripping the Quinjet for parts? Can you imagine what Ultron would be able to do on an alien planet with super advanced technology? If you can't, let me help you. Now, there is precedent for Space Ultron in Marvel's Annihilation Conquest storyline. There, he battles the Guardians of the Galaxy among other cosmic heroes. While that is a story for another day, there's no denying how amazing it would be to have James Spader banter fight the Guardians of the Galaxy in the body of Adam Warlock. Number 8. The Infinity Gauntlet resets continuity. With great power comes great responsibility, and there is no greater power in the MCU than the Infinity Gauntlet. For Infinity War to have any of the emotional gut punch of its comic counterpart, there will need to be a lot of collateral damage, like half a universe dead kind of collateral damage. Luckily, the Gauntlet of Mass Destruction is also the universe's best reset button. An item that can control every aspect of reality is as good or evil as the person wielding it. Once Thanos has had his fun and our heroes spend the better part of 2 films getting trashed, expect another more benevolent force to wrestle control of the Gauntlet in the film's final act. Now, once the good guys are in control again, just how far they go in reversing the damage Thanos does will say a lot about the perception of the MCU going forward. A complete reset reviving all the fallen heroes would undermine all the consequences of Infinity War, while allowing Marvel's top heroes to stay dead would cut several fingers off the hand that Marvel uses to rake in cash. I see the answer falling somewhere in between. Yes, I do expect the innocent victims to be revived, but the heroes' revival won't be so cut and dry. Letting some of the Avengers stay fallen would make logical sense and line up with current contracts, adding in some stipulation that the universe can be healed but not entirely restored. This would allow the franchises to remain open and allow Marvel to recast their main heroes later on, blaming the new appearance on a wrinkle in the universe's recovery. Number 9. Captain America wields Mjolnir. It's well documented in nerddom that Captain America is one of the few mortals worthy enough to lift the mighty Mjolnir, having done so on multiple occasions. There is a brief allusion to this at the Avengers party in the beginning of Age of Ultron, as Cap is able to move the hammer a teeny bit. This is in line with how the enchantment placed on Mjolnir by Odin works. While the hammer may only be hoisted by the worthy, as Thor has said, in times of duress, the enchantment is easier to overcome as long as you're fighting for the good guys. Shown first in the Justice League Avengers crossover, Superman is able to wield Mjolnir in the climactic battle's final moments, only to not be able to lift the hammer after the battle. This would explain why Cap is only able to nudge the hammer during their downtime. While I do feel it's more likely that Cap will hoist the hammer in a last stand to go toe-to-toe with Thanos, having him drop everyone in the theater's jaw only to shout the words we've been teased about for years would please any fanboy, any dog, and 30% of cats. Number 10. The Fantastic Four join the MCU. Can Marvel bring a sizable portion of its sold properties back into the fold? It's not entirely far-fetched to believe they may have already done just that. Rumor has it Marvel traded the TV rights to the X-Men in exchange for Marvel's first family. If this is true, then the most exciting aspect we can expect from the Fantastic Four will not be the titular heroes, but the villains they bring with them. Once Thanos bows out from his bid to recreation, new, even more powerful villains will be required to keep upping the stakes of Marvel's future. Now that task becomes a lot easier when you have not only Doctor Doom,
does not surrender.
Take it! A maniacal dictator with diplomatic immunity, but Galactus, the devourer of worlds, who literally eats planets. After a purple-skinned guy who destroys all creation, I think planet eating is about as high up the chain you can go. While Marvel will need fresh hero blood to maintain their line of hero expansion, we all know Marvel's big flaw is villains. Between Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spider-Man being out of house, Marvel has been left with a paltry crew of no-goodniks to challenge their heroes. This plot and scheme will go a long way toward correcting that problem in the future.
Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, please feel free to comment on your own personal theories of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, good luck and Godspeed.